Good evening and welcome to our very first Beyond the Front Page for the fall 2018 semester here at Hughie Community College. This is a show that's broadcast on Spectrum, Verizon, Fios, the Auburn Regional Media Access, and ARMA, as well as WDNR, the college's radio station. I'm your host, Guy Cosentino. Before we start the show, though, a quick programming note. We had hoped to bring you on Inside Government Hughie County Administrator Justin Woods, but through a scheduling conflict, he is not available today. We'll bring him back into the studio later in the semester. If you're just turning in to this show, we try to look at issues that are not necessarily on the front pages of our daily newspapers, but they're important discussions to have about things that are going on in our community, such as the Auburn Education Foundation's Gobble and Go that is in roughly 2 weeks. We'll have future shows on the Auburn Chamber Orchestra, the Hughie County Office of Tourism that's having a personnel change. Perform for Purpose will be here next week, as well as representatives of Willard Chapel for their 20th anniversary Chef's Night. Tonight, though, we are delighted to have back in the studio the representatives of the Auburn Education Foundation, their president, JANIE HUTCHINSON, and their board development chair, BLAIR, to talk about October's Gobble and Go, as well as the new innovation labs that their organization has paid for in the Auburn Enlarged School District. Welcome back.
Well, thank you, guys.
Thank you. I'm sorry I didn't color coordinate with you with red. I had a red tie in my hand this morning and it just didn't work. So, starting it off, for those who don't know, what is Gobble and Go?
Gobble and Go is a restaurant crawl downtown. People buy a ticket, and the ticket gives them admission to, well, we have 15 participating venues where you stop in, get a sample of whatever it is that they're serving, and it's a lot of fun. It's very social. And
how many years have you been doing this?
This is our third Gobble and Go.
And when is it for those who may not know?
The Gobble and Go is Saturday, October 13th.
And it is a certain time during the day, so
it is. It's from, actually the stops at the various participating venues are from 1 to 5, so that gives you plenty of time. And then the last stop is opening its doors at 4:30, and we'll go from 4:30 to 6. That's at the Knights of Columbus. Gosh, we're so excited to have the Knights of Columbus be a sponsor this year and host the last stop, because not only are they they're doing way more than a little sample. They're having a whole dinner buffet with appetizers.
So that's the Gobble Rock that's at the end of the...
The Gobble Rock is a new twist we have this year. It's a smooth river rock that's painted with a vintage turkey by local artist Sandy Shutter. And someone from Knights of Columbus is going to hide it within their premises, and the person that finds it wins a $100 gift card to the Sherwood Inn and a bottle of champagne.
Now, is that separate from, you're also doing raffles, am I correct on that? Or is
we'll have a few, we will have a 50-50, and we will have 4 or 5 silent auction items that will also help to contribute to the funds we raise. Do
you get to keep Miss Shutter's rock?
She has offered to paint a new one each year, so the finder does get to keep that rock.
I asked that only because she does beautiful work. She was just at Art in the Park a couple weeks ago.
She does. She's amazing.
So is this all in downtown Auburn?
It is pretty much all in downtown Auburn, with the exception of a couple that are a little more outlying, which is the Refinery at Hilton Garden Inn. Okay. They're our major sponsor. And then Burger Theory at the Holiday Inn.
Which is a new restaurant there.
Which is a new restaurant there. My husband went there with a bunch of guys, said the burgers were great. So we're excited.
You do have a couple of new vendors. I know some people have dropped off. We won't talk about that. But who's new in your... Burger Theory is obviously one.
Burger Theory, they're going to have pumpkin chili and burger bites.
Okay.
Ooh. That should be a lot of fun. Then we have Next Chapter Brew Pub. They're in the Genesee Mall, and they're going to serve Samoa apple slices and pumpkin beer. And
they have just been open for a couple of weeks now.
They have, and they're really excited to be a part of this.
And then 2 other ones that you have. One is Gretchen's Confections. Where is that?
Candy Maker. They're at the East End, up near Angelo's Pizza, for people that might be more familiar. And they make delicious sweets. So they're serving samples of their pecan butter crunch candy and mint meltaways and fresh brewed coffee.
And then Regenerations, which is not a food establishment.
It is not. We feel so lucky to have them be a part of this, but I think they'd just like to get people in there, see what they have. They take old things and reimagine them. So you can go in there and see all kinds of cool things, furniture that have been repainted and all sorts of things. And she's going to do some kind of mystery dessert.
So this is Sue Waby, who oddly enough happened to be our first guest last year. She does the Downtown Ducks books and things like that.
Yes,
so,
yes.
So how much does it, I'll come back to some of the other venues, but how much does it cost to participate?
$25 gets you to all 15 of the stops, plus it includes the buffet at the Knights of Columbus.
And you can buy the tickets at the Auburn Education website, or if you go to the Auburn Enlarged School District website, you can buy them there, correct?
No, it's auburnedfoundation.org.
So only on that site, okay.
And you can get them at the business office up at the administration building, and you can get them at Auburn Downtown Bid.
So when you say these restaurants are involved, if you go in, so I know that, for example, A.T. Wally's, if you go in there, they had both, I thought last year they had food and they had a drink sample. So they can do a combination of both or either or, correct?
Right. Usually what the restaurants will do is you get the food sample, and then they will have, most of them are doing small pours because we want people to be able to support the restaurants, and they usually price.
So drinks are on your own. If you want something beyond what's being served, that's on your own. Drinks
are on your own, but they price them very well. Some of them are having $2 samples, and some of them are having $3 things. And something new at Wild's Eats and Sweets, if you've never had a wine slushie, they're going to offer wine slushies.
They're in the Genesee Mall?
They're in the Genesee Mall as well.
So, quick couple of questions. You've got Good Shepherd, who is doing this again. Good Shepherd Brewing.
Sausage, bean, and barley soup.
Okay. Moondog Lounge.
Yep. Cheesy potato soup.
Okay. And they were delicious last year. They did something different last year.
Oh, it's always delicious there.
Morrow's Table.
Morrow's is doing their roasted red pepper and fennel soup, and they're doing a spiked cider.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prison City Pub and Brewery.
Prison City's doing buffalo chicken pierogies.
Mesa Grande.
And Mesa Grande's doing what they usually do, which is their mini burrito bowls. However, this year they're doing $3 full pour margaritas on the rocks.
And then Three Leaf Tea.
Three Leaf Tea. She makes a fabulous bean salad. It's gluten-free. And then she's always also offering medium lattes for $3.
And last but not least, I think I've got everybody here, is Parker's, which would be your farthest stop west.
The furthest stop west, they're doing toasted Hawaiian Little Wiggy pot roast sliders.
They were delicious last year, so don't knock a good thing when you've got it down.
And coconut curry cream of cauliflower soup.
I should say, they and Good Shepherd are your farthest west.
They are,
so
yep.
Is this your only fundraiser in a given year?
No.
Okay.
No.
So what else do you do?
We do, in the spring, we have a restaurant gift card raffle.
Okay.
And we also have our Hall of Distinction.
And for those who may not have watched the 17 shows we've done on that since you've been president, what is the Hall of Distinction?
The Auburn.
Because I like this. That's why we do a show. So
the Auburn Alumni Hall of Distinction. In fact, we just had a committee meeting this past week, and we have selected, but we're not announcing yet. But it's going to be a great class.
Another one. It's fabulous.
So are you done collecting for, applications for 2019?
We always collect applications.
But your class for 2019, you figured out who's being recognized for next year?
2019. Right, it is 20. Wow, 2019.
So how do you submit names for that?
They can. People can go to the website. The application is on the website. They can print out the application and just send it, mail it to us, or they can email it.
And do you have a specific number of people you recognize? I know it's varied from year to year, but are you trying to keep it to a certain number?
We usually 6.
6?
Usually 6.
So all of this goes to raise money. So how much have you raised over the years? Any idea?
Well over $210,000.
So
that's what we've given away.
That's what we've given away.
But that's not necessarily all we've raised.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where does the money go?
The money goes to fund educator grants for special innovative programs within the Auburn and Large City School District that staff members submit, and then there's a committee that looks at them and checks out.
So these are not necessarily things that taxpayers would fund? They'd
No.
be
Oh, no,
outside
they're,
that?
they're outside the
Sorry.
regular school budget.
Right.
So you had a column last week or two, maybe 2 weeks ago, on something that's new at all of our elementary schools, and we'll talk to Jeff Perazzola when he's here on Thursday. These are what are called innovation labs. What are they?
Well, they're actually based on the makerspace movement, and it's which is teaching and learning that is focused on student-centered inquiry. So makerspaces provide hands-on creative ways to encourage students to build, invent, design, and create as they engage in all areas of the curriculum, including science, math, and art.
And these are all at all 5 elementary schools?
All 5 elementary schools.
So this has been a big lift for you. How much did you?
We donated $25,000 total, which allowed each elementary librarian to order $5,000 worth of materials so that they would be able to.
And you had a
put them into
partner
the lab.
foundation with that?
We had the Schwartz Family Foundation about 1.5 years ago gave us a grant, and we set that aside feeling that that would be seed money for a signature project.
And the Schwartz Foundation is Mayor Schwartz, who
Yes.
Was mayor in the
I think his family.
in the
Yes.
1960s.
Yes.
His family has been investing in Auburn for many, many years. So I want to go back to this. So these are the elementary school, and I know a lot of parents have talked to the Board of Education. Again, we'll talk to Jeff Perazzola about this, but this is what is, I can't remember how my son refers to it, but he doesn't use the word technology, but this is what is being cycled in with art, gym, music, and libraries, correct?
As far as we know. I mean, we gave the donation, and then it was up to the district they were going to set the curriculum and the schedule.
So you have four grandchildren at Seward?
Yes, three grandchildren.
3 grandchildren at Seward. Ben's not there yet. So what are they telling
Who's
you?
kid?
Because they must tell you, you must ask them, what do they do?
They have not expressed an awful lot about it yet, because I'm not sure that all of them are, because they have just been given the money to do the ordering. I don't know if all of the component parts that they're
actually up and running. And
so when you say that you've given money to the librarians, not everyone. So Casey may be different than Owasco, that may be different than Herman.
What we did when
Genesee.
we found that Genesee and Owasco were already doing after-school programs. The librarians had after-school programs, and we visited those, and very impressive what they were doing, what some of these kids were doing. And that was why we decided that that was a project, because we would have liked to have made it so that all kids were exposed to it, not just kids who could stay after school.
So is this a child or a group of children are given a project and they have to figure it out using materials? What's the goal?
They generate all their own problems and
for the most part. And I think because it's so new.
Don't we all generate our own problems?
Right. I think because it's so new, it's going to take time for each building, because like obviously Owasco and Genesee have already been used to doing it, so they could order whatever it was that they needed to supplement their program. The other 3 librarians
And the students are going to have access to some of the most recent coding capabilities,
Right.
which is really the huge
part
trend.
of this whole issue of STEM.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, science,
Yes.
technology.
Yes.
STEAM.
STEAM. And arts.
And arts.
And math.
Right.
Okay.
Correct, yes.
So with this, this is your largest signature project?
To date.
Since I've been.
Okay.
Since
Got anything
I've
else on the
been.
horizon?
Well,
Always.
we're always looking.
Always.
Looking
So when you come
for-
back in the spring to talk about the Hall of Distinction, I can question you then?
You could.
Whether you'll answer will be a different issue.
If we have an excellent fundraising season,
There's
we can-
no end to what might happen for our students.
So quickly, before we go out, Gobble and Go is when?
Saturday, October 13th,
From-
1 to, well, if you include the last stop, it could be 1 to 6.
But 1 to 5 is
1
for...
to 5 for all of the participating
Okay.
venues, and the last stop at nights from 4:30 to 6.
Tickets are how much?
$25.
And you can go online on the Auburn Education. Who are some of your corporate sponsors? Because I know not all of them are doing
We would really
food.
we really would like to thank Refinery Modern Fare at Hilton Garden Inn. They're our major sponsor. The Auburn Downtown Bid, they are wonderful, have been a huge support. The Knights of Columbus for the last stop. The Citizen. Big D's Limousines is providing the transportation, a trolley we're thinking. Jacobs Press, who does the beautiful job on our maps and tickets and posters. And we'd like to thank the generosity of Savannah Bank, who's always there whenever we ask for their support. Very appreciated.
Well, we encourage you to go to Gobble and Go on October 13th, which is a Saturday from 1 to 5 in downtown Auburn. It's a great, very fun event. Rain or shine, am I correct on that?
Oh, yes.
Okay, you've had one of each.
One of each.
And it's a bye. It's a bye for Syracuse football.
Okay, good to know. We want to thank Auburn Education Foundation Chair Janie Hutchinson and Bonnie Blair, who heads up their fundraising, for joining us to talk about Gobble and Go, again set for October 13th. Just a couple quick programming notes. We apologize that County Administrator Justin Woods is not able to join us today on Inside Government. We'll reschedule him further into the semester. We'll be back on Thursday the 27th with Inside Government featuring Auburn Superintendent of Schools Jeff Perazzola, to talk about the new school year and changes in elementary schools, among other topics. We'll also have two back-to-back Beyond the Front pages. The first one will be on the Auburn Chamber Orchestra that kicks off its new season very soon, as well as next week's annual Chef's Night, which is celebrating its 20th anniversary for Willard Chapel with Maxine Alberici. She'll be here this coming Thursday. Next Tuesday, on the 2nd, we'll get our city update from Mayor Michael D. Quill. We'll have a discussion with Meg Vanek, who is leaving the county's tourism as the county's tourism director after almost 2 decades of doing some great work there. The following Thursday, we'll have Stephanie DeVito, who will talk about the Business Improvement District. She'll most likely tout Gobble and Go that day. The Visitor Center, which her office will be managing, and then we'll finish off with a discussion with Jim Bernardsdale and several members of Perform for Purpose. And then the rest of the month, it's the time that we do our political forums. We'll have candidates following through all the way up until October 30th. Those are forums that are co-sponsored by the Citizen. Before we go, though, we would like to let you know that you can send us your questions and thoughts, or for future guests, to Inside Government or Beyond the Front Page. You can send those questions by email to cozguytho@aol.com, or by mail at Inside Government, 141 Dunning Avenue, Auburn, New York, 13021. I'm Guy Cosentino for QU Community College. I want to thank you for watching. We hope you have a good evening and a great tomorrow. We'll be back on Thursday. Thank you. And they'll tell us when we're out. Thanks. We covered it all.